Josh Josh finishing off in the ninth in spectacular fashion. Like, how nice is just to have a win like that?
Amazing, yeah. In the ninth inning, um, they changed pitchers, so we were just doing a quick review of the reliever. And I was like, hey, can we just focus for like 10 minutes? Because if we end the game right here with leaving them on the field, it'll be a lot of fun, I promise you. So just like focus for like 10 minutes on what we need to do. And I'm happy for the players. Like, I'm really happy to see them enjoy that. And it's a special park to have a walk-off win in, especially in a conference game. So I'm just happy that they got to experience that and earned it. You know, not a perfect game by any stretch, but baseball's not designed to be played perfectly. Stuck with it. Really good performance on the mound again. And, old hitter that we have a ton of faith in, picking us up right there.
Another night where you get some really good pitching performances out of your bullpen, despite not even using Griffin again. I guess how promising is that for the the two or three guys that you used tonight?
Yeah, it's great. And, I mean, just say their names. And when you say their names, they all have ability and they all have had success. And so it's nice to be able to go to that, even though maybe they haven't had the seasons they've wanted to have. I think to pitch past that and to be able to execute in a league game against any team and get us, 2 1/3 scoreless there was awesome. So, you look at it, Gavin hasn't pitched in a little while. Really sharp. Struck out the first 3 hitters he faced, so that was awesome. Nate came in with traffic and immediately walked the first guy. And during that mound visit, he got himself composed, and then weak contact got us off the field. That was awesome. That's a point where we've lost games, this year. So really proud of him for that. He pulled his hamstring or strained his hamstring, and he probably could have stayed in the game. He just didn't like the way he was moving down the mound. And then Thatcher is in a 2-0 count, and so to throw a breaking ball in the zone that a good hitter, Stanfield, who absolutely wore us out last year, Chris Stanfield, had got enough top spin, and Josh is over there, no doubles because the man's on first base. Was able to run underneath it. Really happy that those 3 guys had success tonight.
So you're pretty confident Nate's going to be okay moving forward?
I think he's going to be okay. Yeah, I mean, it's a big smile on his face in there and ice pack on his leg, and yeah, I mean, it's not an arm thing, so to be very clear, he's okay. He'll be okay. He had this last year, and nobody even really knew about it, and we pitched pretty quickly after it.
Yeah, and with Gavin, what has he done sort of lately to put himself back in a scenario like this where he's pitching in a tied game?
Yeah, he stayed engaged. He's stayed engaged, and there's he's been really good as far as he always sits near the dugout near Jamie and I, before he goes down to the bullpen, and stays engaged in the game, and he's real positive with his teammates, and that's uncommon nowadays when it's not maybe going good for a player. And so I think he's a good example of that. And the benefit of that also is when you get your next opportunity tonight, you're ready. And he there's 3 big outs, he only got credit for 2/3, but strikeout. Was awesome. McMurray's a dangerous hitter. Definitely the guy that I have circled in their lineup right now, as is. And so we had to pitch carefully to him, and couldn't get him to chase. And then Nate came in and finished that inning. It was good.
By using Nate as a reliever today, was that sort of a tough decision to take him away from that starter role?
Yeah, it was necessary. Frankly, we always call it a 56-game playoff, but I mean, we're in playoff baseball right now, and I had to do what I thought we needed to do to win that game tonight, and I thought it was best for us to win that game tonight would go to him.
And going to him instead of Griffin, what's sort of the reasoning behind
that then? Keep that to myself.
Okay.
We're just sorry. I love answering the questions, and it's a great question. It's not a good question. It's a great question. I just never really want to give away any competitive advantages.
Yeah,
That's all.
Yeah, and then I hate to ask this too, but who's starting tomorrow?
I don't know yet. I do like where we're at. I will say that with what we have available, and You would think, Little would be available. You would think Gavin threw 19 pitches and is traditionally bounced back well. He would be available. Thatcher threw 1 pitch. He would be available. And then, a bunch of guys we haven't used, Moffitt, Sam Dutton, Lore. We've had Laura up a couple times, but haven't gone to him. Cam, Cade, Griffin, obviously. So I like the assortment of guys we have to get after that game tomorrow.
What's been sort of the key to you guys' success? I mean, I think Auburn only has 4 hits across these 2 games.
Yeah, I mean, I think guys are getting better. And, again, like, we're supposed to be the team, and I know that. We've played really good teams to this point that expose you when you're not totally right. You know what I mean? But they've kept working, and they've kept improving. And it's about winning and losing, but that matters. And I think it's starting to manifest itself in a lot of areas. It's not just one thing. It's a lot of things. It's strikes. It's low strikes. It's moving the ball all around the zone. It's changing speeds. It's throwing to both sides of the plate. It's competitiveness. It's confidence. It's conviction in the pitches. It's a lot of stuff. It's not just one answer. But it is the difference in why we are winning right now, is the pitching staff.
Obviously, Alex kind of maybe didn't have the best at-bats up to the 9th inning, but then comes through in that situation. How
Yeah.
does that kind of, help the team seeing some guy?
Yeah. It's huge. I mean, like, that's baseball. And getting off the mat. Like, he did not have a good game. He didn't catch good, and he didn't hit good. But he wanted his 4th or 5th at bat, whatever it was. I mean, so think about how we won. 2-strike hit, perfectly executed, sacrifice bunt by Mac, who, again, is an everyday player who hasn't played the last couple games. He'll be back in there, no question about it. But prepares the right way, goes in there and executes. Ashton didn't have 2 good at-bats to start the game, but he kept control of himself and then took 3 great at-bats. You know what I mean? It takes a professional at-bat, and Tommy, the most equipped player in that situation, took a good swing on the first one. I thought the game was over on that pitch. He did everything right. He just missed it a little bit. And then the guy made some pitches, and then they walked Jared, and then Josh comes through. So it's just, we did a lot of things right, and the game knows who should be rewarded, and we deserve to win tonight.
What did Josh do differently in that at-bat? Because you had a couple other chances to take that 3rd run with guys in scoring
Yeah,
position.
I think he was under control. I think we called an offensive timeout right there, and I always want to believe they know exactly what they're doing, but he really was set for what we were looking for and what he was going to do, and he executed it perfectly on the first pitch and not swinging, and on the second pitch and swinging.
Offensively, what was, sort of piggyback off that question, what was sort of some of the issues through the first?
It was a tough night. Yeah, it was a tough night tonight. A lot. Yeah, just we've been better. We've been better. Pitcher did a good job, partly, and we let him off the hook several times. And I'm not talking about in the context of putting together a big inning. I'm talking about in a lot of at-bats, our hitters let him off the hook. And it should not have been. It could have. I don't want to say it should not have been. That game had every potential not to be 3-2 in the 9th inning and a walk-off win if we execute offensively the way we need to in terms of within at-bats. I'm not talking about a certain play, within at-bats.
Does a win tonight sort of help you, not say reset in that way, but just sort of, not be too down on yourself?
Yeah, well, we talked after the game, there's no getting down on anybody. Couple weeks ago, whatever it was, this is going to remain a very positive environment, in this locker room and in this program amidst going through a really tough stretch. And we're going to hold to that. At the same time, we're still going to coach and push and develop so that they can be the best players they can be. We can't win if we don't manage the strike zone. Okay, they're not going to professional baseball if they swing at balls in college baseball. It's the way of the world. And so, I'm going to steal the Nick Saban thing from the draft. I'm sure everybody saw that, but he equated the baseball thing of you can teach a guy a swing, you can teach him what the strike zone is, but that instinct to see the pitch out of the hand and react yes or no, that comes from within the player. We're going to keep trying to train it. I'm going to try to train instincts in them until I'm not coaching anymore. But we have some guys that when they're good at it, They're really good, like elite players. And we weren't really that tonight. So it's great to get a win knowing how much we actually left on the table. And I'm not talking about blowing up squeeze bun or any of that stuff. I'm talking about, I mean, I could go down the order and literally probably every single guy left an at bat or two on the table where if they just would have executed their zone discipline, they would have ended up on base instead of in the dugout. So
With the squeeze play, was that disappointing to you at all? Or?
it was a good bunter, and I mean, the first one was a strike. We got to get the first one down, and then the second one was it's pretty close to the zone, at least as far as I could tell. I might go back and watch the video and see something completely different, but he's a good bunter, and I think they were close enough. I think that's the one guy on the team I have no problem. I know he would come in here and say I should have got it down. So, he could live with the accountability with Alex, but. Yeah, I mean, again, it's not the play I was talking about, but that game didn't need to be 3-2 in the ninth tonight. Did not.
How excited are you to see this group have the chance to get an SEC sweep tomorrow, kind of how they come into the building and everything?
Yeah, I mean, very excited. First off, my first thought was after thank God, you know what I mean? Like, not extra innings. We came through. Somebody got the clutch hit. We can get a little sleep, before the game tomorrow. And so the first part of it was just I'm really happy for them. They put their life into this. I think that gets missed sometimes. We know all of the intricacies of that. We know how we've been working and operating and, kind of what they're working past individually and collectively. So it's like, you know what? Good for them. Good for them. They deserve that. And I don't think that's the last one of those, we'll see, because I think we're improving as a team. And they're just giving themselves a much better chance to be successful right now. And we're going to keep doing that until somebody tells us we don't get to play anymore.
How much has the team grown since that Game 2 loss to Florida, kind of in similar fashion, but on the other side of it?
Man, gosh, that's a long time ago. And, yeah, it's one of the worst regular season losses of my entire career. And we went through it, after that. I mean, they don't think this way, and I don't want them to think that way, but it's like, okay, great. Like, we just lost a game. We were down to the last strike, and we're facing Jack Caglione tomorrow and Hagen Smith in the next conference game. Like I said, this has not been, easy. I love to see, it's not just the winning. We've just stayed with the game. I mean, even going back to that Tuesday against New Orleans, they were up 3-1. Just played level baseball. Tommy drove in a couple runs with singles to get us back to square, and then got some big hits. And then the bullpen did its job. It's baseball. Okay, then we had a great game at Missouri. Then we lost a tough one, and then came back and just stayed with the game, 6-2. And as I mentioned last night, we're just getting better as the game goes along. And that's a sign of all the good teams I've had. That's always a common thread. And it's taken a little while, but we're starting to get there.
Thank you, Coach.
Okay, thank you guys.
Coach.